she started trying to look for places to sit her bags. She walked towards the back of the car to see if there was any room for her to sit them, but it was a hatchback, so there was only a little ledge back there that was way too small to really sit anything on at all. So she walked back to the passenger door and she kinda just stood there with all of the bags still hanging off of her. Like she was just gonna stand there and try to stick it out until the person came out of Walmart. She could have walked back inside Walmart and found a bench to sit on while she waited, but it seemed like the walk to the car had already drained her of a lot of her energy. So walking back inside kinda wasn't an option at this point. Keep in mind, the sun was really beaming that day. It wasn't super hot. It was actually pretty nice out, but it was still really warm. The whole time in my head, I was like, oh my goodness, please, whoever you are, come out of Walmart so this sweet little lady can sit down. I wanted so badly to help her myself somehow, but I didn't want her to be afraid of me or think I was a weirdo trying to do harm to her in any way, because I am a complete stranger. So when I finished my food, I decided to just stay in my car so that I could finish watching my video and also watch this lady. I just wanted to make sure she was okay and inside the car before I went inside. A couple of minutes went by and I noticed that she decided to go ahead and eat her food. She was hungry. She put her bags on top of the car, like on the roof. She put her drink and her purse up there also, and she took out her Subway sandwich and a bag of chips. I don't quite know how to explain how she positioned her body to eat while she was standing there, but it looked very uncomfortable. It was kinda like she leaned herself against the car a bit and she held her chips between her and the car. She held her sandwich with her hands. At one point, she almost dropped all of her chips as she was trying to bite into her sandwich. She kept looking out of the corner of her eye every time she would hear someone coming down the aisle. Like she was a bit nervous, just standing out there alone, not knowing what would happen. I just felt so bad for her. It looked like she was having a very hard time. Oh my goodness. So I just couldn't take it anymore. I had to try to help her. I just had to. I got out of my car and I was like, ma'am, I'm sorry to interrupt you while you're eating. I was just trying to make sure you were okay. I noticed that you've been standing there for a while. She was like, oh yes, I'm okay. I'm just waiting on my daughter to come out. She said that she got stuck in a checkout line, but she should be out any minute now. So I said, well, if you'd like, you can sit in my car and wait until she comes out. I don't mind. I'm not in a rush. I have plenty of room in the back. I only mentioned having room in the back so that she would feel more comfortable knowing that there would be some space between us, you know. So she looked towards the entrance one more time and she was like, well, I guess I could. absolutely made my day to just see her smiling and laughing while we were talking. Just knowing that I could help even the least bit did me a lot of good. It was lovely. She thanked me like 1,000 times for letting her have a seat. After about 10 minutes, I noticed the lady's daughter walking to her car. As she was walking to the car, she didn't see her mom standing at the car like she said she was. So the daughter is kinda glancing around the parking lot trying to see where her mom is. She wasn't able to see her inside my car from where she was standing. I'm so sorry about those birds chirping, but she looked like she was trying to hide the fact that she was a little bit nervous about her mom's disappearance. So I immediately shouted over to her. I'm like, "Ma'am, she's in here." The mom, with her tiny little voice, she's like, "Here I am." The daughter looked over and smiled like she was totally relieved. Then she started thanking me 1,000 times too for looking after her mom, and she helped her get out of the car. They both had these huge smiles. They were just so sweet. Oh my goodness. And that was that. I just went inside and did my shopping after that. The whole experience just warmed my heart, that's all. I've been thinking about her from time to time. I hope she's doing well. I also hope that she never gets into a car with a stranger ever again. Cramping terribly today. Oh my goodness. That was TMI, Raven. You know what though? That's cool. I think that I should just go with the flow for this video, since we're flowing anyway, right? Who cares if it's TMI? It's human. And I think that's what I am, right? But yeah, I've been cramping so bad today, it's not even funny. Mother Nature is definitely not playing with me this time around. If you know me, you know that I'm not one to take medicine unless it's absolutely necessary. Otherwise, I just let my body do what it's gonna do naturally, and I just deal with whatever comes with it. Honestly, as far as my cramps go, they're usually not super bad. I really don't think that mine are as bad as some people's can get, but they still hurt. I think I'm just pretty good at tolerating the pain at this point. And even though I don't take medicine on the days that I do cramp, which is usually like a day before my cycle starts until maybe day 2 or day 3 of my cycle. Fun fact, I was blessed to have a 6-day cycle. How lovely. There are things that I do that help ease the pain a whole lot. This is probably gonna sound weird to some people, but one of the things that I've finish filming this, so that will alleviate the pain a bit. Don't worry, I think I'll survive. You know something? I can remember way back when I was younger, before my cycle ever started, I was so eager for it to come. Now look at me. But seriously, I was really eager for it to start. I have a cousin that I used to spend the night with all the time. If you haven't noticed, I have a lot of cousins. This one, she's a few years older than me. We would always have these random conversations. She would teach me everything I needed to know about so many different things, periods being one of them. And with her being older, she had already had hers for a few years at this point, so she was able to give me the ins and outs and what I should expect. Of course, my mom had already talked to me about it, but I felt like I could ask my cousin all the questions I wanted without feeling uncomfortable, you know? Not saying that I couldn't ask my mom. I could have, but, you know, some things, you know. Anyway, I can remember my cousin giving me the full rundown on everything from start to finish. She actually gave me the story of how she started hers. Then she went on to talk about pads and tampons. She even brought some out and gave me a demonstration of how they are used and everything. I remember that so vividly. But yeah, I was so excited and ready for mine to start. Don't know why. I think I was just ready to be a part of the club. And the day it did start, I was almost scared to tell anyone. But I didn't have to. I didn't get a chance to. Let me tell you what happened. It was a weekday and my mom had just woke me up so that I could get ready for school. I'm just doing my regular morning routine, went to the bathroom to pee, TMI. While I'm sitting on the royal throne, I wipe and I see this very, very faint pink color on the tissue. Like, you could barely see anything, but it was there. So in my head, I'm like, am I really seeing something or am I still asleep? So I decided to wipe again to see if I would see anything the second time. I get another piece of tissue, and this time I could really see the pink because the color was a little bit deeper than it was least while I'm out in public. It's okay when I'm home because then I can go to the bathroom as much as I need to change and whatnot. I don't know if it's like that for everyone, but yeah, sugar definitely makes my flow a bit heavier for whatever reason. I don't have time for that type of anxiety while I'm out in public, okay? I'm good. So later that same day, my mom took me to the store so that we could buy my own pads and stuff. I can remember us going onto the aisle that they were on. My mom and we were just standing there looking at all the different pads and liners and tampons. Then my mom is like, okay, which ones do you want? I'm like, how am I supposed to know? Then she laughed and basically started describing what each one would be like. These have wings and these may be a little bit more comfortable than others because they're thinner, blah 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 blah. And I actually ended up choosing the Always Infinity pads with wings. They were super thin and I preferred those over the bulky maxi pads. I used the Always Infinity pads for years and years after that, and I also dabbled and dabbled with different tampons. Years down the line, I learned about organic pads and tampons, which are like chlorine free, free of any dyes and pesticides, all of that. Just plain old cotton. I decided to try them because I read that the chemicals and stuff that they use in regular pads and tampons, they're kind of dangerous and not very healthy for your body. They can actually cause hormonal issues, and I believe that some of the chemicals are even linked to cancer. Very scary. So anyway, I tried the organic ones. It was the L product line to be exact, and I have been stuck on them ever since. First of all, my cramps became way less painful when I switched, which let me know that all these years there was something in the regular pads that was messing with my body. I just didn't know it because the regular pads was all I knew. So I thought that what I was feeling and going through was normal, you know. Secondly, I am sensitive this is for my ladies, of course. Sorry, man. But yeah, they're healthier for you anyway. Like I said,